Hi, this is James, Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at a really cool party game, and that's going to be Skull. And this is published by Space Cowboys, and it is a 3 to 6 player game. This is a primarily buffing game where all you have to do is get 2 points to win the game. Let's go ahead down the table here. I'm going to show you how to play this game, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Skull. This is going to be one of my favorite games here, and this is a great game to take to events or family gatherings or just a restaurant or whatever you want to do. It's very easy, very limited table space, and a lot of fun. The gameplay for this game is pretty darn simple. Each player, up to 6 players, is going to get 4 of these tiles here, and they're going to get one of these player mats on this side, not the flower side. After everyone has their player mats out there, you're going to decide who's going to be the first player. The first player gets this to show that they are the first player. Then everyone's going to simultaneously look at their hand. What you're doing throughout this game is you're trying to either eliminate your opponents from having them flip over a skull, or you're trying to bid to a number of flowers that you feel reasonably is out there and have them flip. And we'll show you how that works. So let's say for the first one, I pick this. I don't know, I just shuffled these, so I don't know what the opponents are putting out. And I'm the first player. So on your turn, if you get a turn on here, you're going to either pick one of these tiles to place on top, or you're going to bid a number. So if I did place a tile on top of here, the other player could bid a number or place a tile. Let's say they place a tile. This player could bid a number or place a tile. This player here could bid a number or place a tile. They've decided to place a tile. Now it's back to me. I can choose to place a tile or bid a number. I'm going to bid a number. I'm going to bid 2. So if everyone passed at my 2, then I have to flip over my cards first until I meet the bid. And then if any excess, I'm going to have to flip other players' tiles over. So I flip mine 2 over here, and they're both flowers. So I'm good. But let's say I bid 2. This opponent passes. They can't bid anymore. They pass. They say 3. I say 4. It goes back to them. They pass. Now, I have to flip over 4 tiles. I have to flip over my first, so I have 2 flowers. I'm good. I have to flip over some of the opponents. Now, I can only flip over what's on top, so I'll flip over this one. And I do not have to flip over the next one. I can pick a different one. So I pick this one. So I have 4 flowers. I have passed. So I get to flip my mat over to show I gained a point, and all these cards go back to their players. Now let's say instead I flipped over this card, which is a skull. I then lose. So what happens when you lose your bid? So this didn't get flipped. If it is the skull was the opponent skull that I flipped over, then I randomly will randomly lose a tile. So I'll shuffle these up and set one aside. Now I only have 3 tiles, and I may or may not have the skull. So it's really important that I pretend that I have the skull, even if you don't. So if I don't have the skull, I want to still take a look at my cards and not immediately put them down, because that's sort of like a give that I lost my skull. Now if I flipped over and the two cards I flipped over here, one of them was a skull, I now have immediately lost. Sometimes you do this to try to trick other people to do a higher bid and flip yours, but now that I flipped over my own skull, I get to pick which one I lose. And then we're ready for the next round. Now, whoever did win the bid gets this token, so they become the first player of the next round. All right, so let's say you eliminated a player. So let's say I actually eliminated this one, and it was my skull that eliminated that player. I now, instead of the person that won the bid, I become the first player for the next round. Now, the way that you're going to win this game is you're going to win twice. So I've won a bid once. I win the bid. I win the bid once. Flip this over. Win the bid a second time. I win. The other way that you can win is eliminating all the other players, getting rid of all their discs. And that's it. That's really how you play Skull. It's super easy to teach. You can play this anywhere. Really fun colors here for the game. They have different versions of this. They have different backings on it. But really, it's just like 4 coasters. One of them has a skull marking on it. So really like this game. I hope you enjoyed this teach. Let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I will give you my final thoughts on Skull. All right, so that was Skull. Component quality, amazing. The really thick coasters in this thing, really thick player mats, really like that in this game. Component quality is great. Gameplay, deceptively simple. Very easy to teach how to play this game. There's not a lot in there. You could teach this game in like 5 minutes flat and be ready to play forever. It's a great game to play anywhere. So you could play you're at a family event, you could play at a convention, you could just play at a restaurant. It's a really great game. I really love how once you get into the game, you really get into a lot of different bluffing strategies. Like sometimes you're just going to put the skull in front of yourself and then bid that number that's in front of you. And people are going to be like, wow, we can't let them have a simple win, so we're going to have to bid above. And they're going to maybe flip yours and realize there's a skull there and you've tricked them. Really like those moments of the game. It's really surprising. It's really, really surprising how simple this game is, but yet how much fun it actually creates in this game. I mean, everyone I've ever played it with, after we get going, they are just all in on this game. Really, they know all about what people could do. They know all the information that is possible, and they can make really cool strategic decisions. I also like the fact that if you do that, like let's say I put a skull there again, now everyone passes, and lets me flip mine over, and I flip my own skull over, or through other trickery I end up flipping my own skull over, I get to pick which tile I lose. I like that a lot. But if I flip someone's opponent's over, I randomly lose one. Really good, because then people are pretty much surmising that if you remove your own, that you didn't remove the skull. But yet, if you flip over opponents, they never really know whether you have a skull or not. Really, I cannot praise this game anymore. This game is amazing. So if you're looking for a light game that you could play with a lot of people, up to 6 people, and have a great time, I highly recommend picking up Skull. It's definitely going to be worth it. It's definitely a lot of fun, especially if you are really into bluffing and you just want to have a simple casual game. Skull is it. And that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for watching.